As Jay's talking, I just want y'all to understand, Jay's now a financial advisor. For many years, Jay ran a credit repair company. He was part of the credit repair scam business. He'll tell you that. So all these credit repair things that y'all see, it's a scam. That's all it is. Because at the end of the day, first of all, understand you cannot repair your credit. You can't repair your credit. You can only get better at helping your credit. He's going to tell you some things, because some things y'all need to understand about buying, when it comes to buying a house and credit. You can have something come off your credit bureau all you want. It doesn't mean it's gone. He's going to talk to you about that. But listen to what he has to say. He was very, very instrumental in putting together this free credit repair kit. It's his way of giving back. It is exactly what he used to sell. I mean, he made a lot of money owning a credit repair business. Simply doing for you what he's given you all the tools to do yourself.
So I won't be too long today. A lot of the information that you guys are going to need is already going to be in the credit repair kit. I'm just going to cover some things that are just, I guess typical questions that I get from people in general anytime that you start talking to them about their credit, right? So Pastor wanted me to talk on the importance of credit. So obviously when you're going to go buy a home, first of all, credit is not the end-all, be-all. There's other parts that come into that, right? So whether there's outstanding debt that you have, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's affecting your credit, but the amount of debt that you're carrying is going to play a part in that. If you have any judgments, if you have any liens, if you have anything outstanding, that tied in with your income, tied in with credit, is what's going to make up and determine your opportunity to be able to purchase a home. So it's just something to consider, that it's just not the end-all, be-all. But when it comes to credit repair, I guess some of the things that I wanted to kind of debunk, if you will, right, is the first thing is there are so many credit repair agencies out there. I mean, I probably drive around Orlando sometimes and I see like the little picket sticks that it's like, hey, credit repair and like 780 score in like 3 months. A lot of that is just false, right? You got to understand, we're providing you with a free credit repair kit. All the information that you really need to prepare and better your credit is already inside of that report. And a lot of those companies are just normal people that did a little bit of reading, because this isn't something that I specialized in, right? Literally, I was really just in sales. All I did, me and my partners, we took clients that were in debt and we would refer them to different attorneys that would actually negotiate the debt. So really, I wasn't doing anything. And then eventually we figured out, hey, those people that restructured their debt, the next step along the line for them is now we want to repair our credit. So we were like, all right, well, now we got to learn about credit repair, because it just goes hand in hand with the line of business, right? So this isn't something that I took a course for. I didn't get no certification. I didn't go to school for it. All I did was read. And I think that that's something that a lot of us just don't tend to do enough of, especially when we're looking to accomplish something. So that's part of what that credit repair kit is it's really just material for you to read. And even if you're going to hire someone, at least you will have the knowledge of knowing what to expect, whether they're selling you a lie or whether they're actually telling you the truth, right? Because maybe you have the resources to pay someone to do it for you because you don't necessarily have the time, right? But you still want to be knowledgeable about what someone is doing on your behalf. You don't just hire someone and say, hey, you give them the keys and it's like, all right, just take care of it, and you never check up on it. This will at least give you the knowledge that if you do hire someone, well, now you know when they come 3 months down the line, oh, we're doing X, Y, Z, and you're like, I've never heard of that. Then you know that that's just not something you should be involved in, right? The other thing that I wanted to cover is that not all credit repair agencies are created equally, all right? Like I said, some of these are just Joe Schmo who did a little bit of reading and is going to send out some letters on your behalf. I'll give you an example personally for me, right? So when I was about 18, 19, I had an eviction on my credit. And when I was finally organizing my credit and kind of being mature enough, me and my wife, we were like, all right, we're going to start fixing our credit. I knew everything about credit repair already at this point because I already had the business, right? The eviction was probably like $6,000 that I had to cover to kind of pay. And it was already with a collection agency, right? Luckily, at the time, I referred to different attorney firms. When I tried to do it on my own, they were literally charging me like 90%, would not remove it, would not do anything else aside from it because of it being an eviction. I signed a power of attorney with a law firm. This isn't Joe Schmo down the street, right? Signed the power of attorney with the law firm. They ended up negotiating the debt on my behalf and got it removed from there. And in total, I ended up paying like $2,200 for the $5,000 debt. So what I will tell you is, if you have maybe a repossession, maybe an eviction, maybe some large medical bills where it is a larger amount of debt, I would say anything above $6,000, $7,000, then you probably do want to hire someone. But you want to make sure that you are being represented by an attorney. If you are just hiring like someone that is doing credit repair and it's not an attorney, the likelihood of whatever they get off coming back on your credit, and possibly at the worst possible time when you want to go buy a house, is going to be through the roof. Because one, they're not going to have the ethical background, if you will, to do the right thing by you. They don't know you. You are nothing but a number and another sale for them at the end of the day. So it's just something to consider. You know, if it's less than $6,000, it's something you could really do on your own, but maybe if you want to pay someone, then it doesn't really need to go that deep. But if it is a larger amount of debt, I would recommend you hire a credit repair agency that is backed by an attorney, not just someone who owns a business, has an LLC, and tells you, I've been sending letters for 10 years. That's not going to help you, because I did that and it didn't help me, all right? And lastly, I just wanted to touch on kind of like some quick tips that you could do to improve your credit, because sometimes people get caught up in, you know, you having to do all these major things to improve your credit, and a lot of the times you really don't need to do that, right? So if you have good credit, if you have decent credit, and you're just looking for an improvement, sometimes just picking up the phone and calling up the credit card company and asking for a credit line increase will increase your credit, because that's going to affect your debt to credit ratio. If you don't, well, so you always want to keep your credit card, right? If you're building credit, it should be 10 to 30% balance on your credit card, no more than that. And if you're not using the credit, then you really should have no credit there, because you don't want to be paying interest for something that you're not using at the end of the day, right? If you have no credit and you have bad credit and you don't get, and the easiest way, the easiest barometer that I use for this is, if you're getting credit card offers in the mail, then you're probably at a decent credit score. If you're not getting any credit cards in the mail, you have no credit. So if you're not getting the offers in the mail, you should be getting a secured card to help you build your credit. During that process, where it might be 4 to 6 months, you shouldn't apply for any other credit card. You shouldn't be looking for anything else. Don't open store accounts like Pastor mentioned the other day. You know, you shouldn't be doing anything relative to your credit. You don't want to be pulling it. You essentially just want to be making payments on that along the way for 6 months. You don't even have to do anything. Within 6 months, you will start getting regular credit card offers in the mail, because your credit score will essentially reach up to a certain point. The other thing that you can do is just pay off some of the debt that you're carrying on revolving balances. You know, that's the biggest impact to your credit score. Sometimes people think that they have to do all these great things, but the reality is maybe you just start applying more towards that debt and stop using it towards other things that you could particularly be using it for at the time. And that in itself is going to help you with just kind of affecting your credit. I wouldn't apply for anything if you have already opened up accounts and you're looking to repair your credit. The other thing is, don't close any accounts. Even if they're charging you fees, don't close anything. You need to pay what you're paying down on, but don't close it. A lot of the times, you know, you'll have someone who, I guess in a way, gets emotional about the process and says, all right, I want to get rid of it. I'm all gung-ho. I want to repair my credit. And what ends up happening is they're like, I just want to close it because I don't want to use it anymore. I just want to pay it off. And really, you just did yourself a disservice, because credit is really about responsibility. And that's what you're trying to show to the credit bureaus, is that you're responsible with a sum of money that has been given or lended to you. So by you closing the account, it's actually impacting you negatively as opposed to kind of helping you along the way. But everything in the credit repair kit is there, top to bottom, whether you have just inquiries on there, whether you have outstanding debt, whether you've never had a credit card account, it will kind of guide you through the process of what you need to do, how you need to do it, and you can kind of go from there.
Key takeaways on credit. Number one, understand that when it comes to buying a home, because that's what we're talking about, you don't have to have an 850 to buy a home. And whether you have a 620, a 650, a 660, or an 800, it's not going to make that big of a difference when it comes to home ownership. I think, what is it, out to about 620 now? 620, 640, 660, you're golden. So don't get wrapped up in the whole credit card thing. Remember, if you're having stuff removed from your credit, off your credit bureau, your credit bureau is not the end-all be-all. If you owe something and they've gotten a judgment and filed it, it may not be on your credit, but understand, before you buy a home, they are going to know it. This is what Miss Alta does every day for a living, and she'll talk to you a little bit more about that. They're going to run a real search. Not credit bureau is a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of baloney. What's on record downtown is what matters. Okay? So just because something comes off your credit, that might be good to help you get other credit cards and all that, because they're not going to dig in. My wife and I went to buy a house one time, and on closing day, it was a $1,300 electric bill or something that we never paid. Deposit, all that, and we actually did pay it, but it was never registered. And we had to literally go pay it again on closing day to get it cleared, or else they would not allow us close. So you don't want those things to happen, okay? We gave you the free credit repair kit. Please use it. It's very helpful. And you just need to learn how to do stuff on your own. Lastly, I want to say about credit. You need a credit repair kit for a reason. You don't have a financial issue. You don't have a credit issue. You have an integrity issue. If you have bad credit, you have an integrity issue. And that's a spiritual thing. Make a decision. If you're going to fix your credit and you're going to go on this path, start learning to live within your means. Stop thinking that taking cars back is an option. Stop thinking bankruptcy is an option. Stop thinking payday loans and all these things y'all do to get by because you're spending money you shouldn't spend is an option. And start learning to save your money and live within your means. Okay? We're going to help you with this, but this ain't let's just dispute everything and just get rid of everything. And because if you don't deal with the root, what are you going to get? Say the same fruit. If the tree is an apple tree and apples are coming up, you can cut the tree chip all the way to the ground. But when that thing springs back up, what's coming out of it? Apples. You got to cut the tree down, dig the root up, and put something new there and expect a new harvest, okay? So we're not trying to teach you how to game the system and just get by. We want you to really search your heart and learn to live within your means.